The 4th annual Tzu Chi Forum kicked off this past weekend in New Taipei City, Taiwan. Tzu Chi volunteers in Hualien look after tourists who were trapped in the mountains of Mugu Muyu. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in Taiwan. The 4th Tzu Chi Forum kicked off at the Xindian Jingsi Hall in New Taipei City on October 1st. More than 400 religious representatives and scholars from Taiwan and abroad gathered to discuss ways to expand Buddhism and remain diligent on the Bodhisattva path. Dharma masters of various sects and scholars in religious studies gathered together with the chairman of the Buddhist Association of the Republic of China, Venerable Yuan Zhong, kicking off the 4th Tzu Chi Forum.
Wherever there is a disaster in the world, Tzu Chi volunteers like Master Zheng Yan are working for the sake of all sentient beings on the Bodhisattva path.
We talked about how we can spread Buddhism and also how we can bring more happiness into this world. So whether it is Buddhism in theory or practice, how can we combine both and make it work?
Originating in Hualien, Taiwan, Tzu Chi's footprint of compassion have spread across 5 continents, aiding more than 94 countries and regions for over half a century.
There was mass racial violence in California, the United States. The Chinese people were unharmed during the riot. Why? It is because in the past African Americans were discriminated against, but Tzu Chi volunteers reached out to help them.
Through alleviating suffering and helping those in need, compassion and wisdom are inspired.
We are not a parrot. We are just listening and talking, and no, there's no point. We have to walk the talk, and this is what supposed to be.
Very many people don't have adequate medical attention. Very many people even don't have education, especially women. Millions and millions and millions of young girls never get any education whatsoever. So of course it's incredibly much needed.
Participants of the forum hope more can be done to alleviate suffering in the world through concrete actions, thereby putting the teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha into practice. Day 1 of the 4th Tzu Chi Forum attracted various participants, including professors from Harvard and Chinese universities. Many were interested in learning more about the operational model of modern religious charities with Tzu Chi's ideals and philosophy.
What gives Tzu Chi its extraordinary ability to mobilize quickly in the face of disasters?
Professor of Business Administration at Harvard Business School, Herman Leonard gives participants a comprehensive analysis of Tzu Chi's organization model.
It is because of the way Tzu Chi is led, organized, and operated, which creates a very high degree of alignment between the mission, the capacity it is operating, and the support that it needs.
In 1996, Typhoon Herb caused widespread devastation across southern and northern Taiwan. Within a month, more than 10,000 Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to assist with disaster relief, food distribution, and cleanup. In order to foster a sense of closeness within these communities, Master Zheng Yan set up the community volunteer program.
In a way, you can say we want to bring back Buddhism's basic core beliefs. We have to focus on our actions in our present life and focus on reducing the suffering of all sentient beings. I think this is the true spirit of Buddhism.
There is a very famous saying by the master, just do what is right. That is the first step, but that isn't all we should do. We should approach people and tell them why we do what we do and what is the basis for it.
Tzu Chi's philosophy and ideals are based on the essence of the Lotus Sutra, which is to work among people and for all sentient beings. And through giving of ourselves and helping others, we also gain wisdom and spiritual growth. To welcome Dharma masters and guests from around the world to the Tzu Chi Forum, Tzu Chi volunteers teamed up to receive each guest from the airport. The personal attention paid by the volunteers to each guest helped them feel right at home.
To welcome guests from around the world, Tzu Chi volunteers received them at the airport. Upon arriving in the hotel, each guest received a greeting card which had been customized for them.
The greeting card is customized for each guest. To make the greeting card properly, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have to Google the background of each guest before they receive their guest.
Since the owner of the hotel is part of Tzu Chi, he welcomed each guest by treating them much like family members.
I feel honored to invite all of them to come here as I hope to let them feel comfortable and relaxed. They're just like my family, so I hope they can feel at home here.
Volunteers accompany each guest personally, hoping to give them immediate assistance as well as giving them the chance to understand Tzu Chi's humanitarianism and culture.
We treat these guests from China like the way Ida mothers would.
Tzu Chi volunteers had designed an online registration for this international religious forum, with many guests registering to attend this event.
We can learn from different religions or realize what opinions other religions have about Tzu Chi by attending this forum. This way, I believe that Tzu Chi will become better.
Many members of the public would like to attend this large-scale forum because they can learn from many other religions as well as understand what Buddhism is about and what concepts other religions are trying to express.
Attendees at this two-day international religious forum have exchanged their ideas of different religions, allowing them to have a deeper understanding of each other through this event.
To prepare for the 4th Tzu Chi Forum, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to set up the venue and provide transportation for forum participants. Team of doctors were also on site to tend to medical needs.
Here at the newly opened Jingsi Hall in Xindian, Tzu Chi's floral arrangement team are making sure the entire venue is filled with a Zen-like tranquility.
There is water above it, so when the wind blows, it exudes a Zen-like calm, which is really great.
Each floral arrangement, big or small, has its purpose.
Wild ginger flower has a scent that is light and fresh. Every corner will be filled with its floral scent.
As some 2,000 guests were expected on day 2 of the Tzu Chi Forum, meticulous planning and coordination were required, from setting up the venue to transport arrangements. A shuttle bus was even organized to pick up guests traveling on the metro.
We wait where there are not that many buses, and as soon as the brothers and sisters hop on, we go. We don't linger.
A group of translation volunteers helped to ensure each presentation is effectively conveyed with 0 language barriers. Prior preparation was the key.
We have a copy of each of the speaker's PowerPoint and speech for our interpreters who have to translate simultaneously. This is very helpful.
TIMA doctors from the northern chapter also set up a medical station to tend to participants' needs.
Foreign participants come from different countries, so they may experience some discomfort with the change of weather and environment.
Working as a team, volunteers hope to seize the opportunity to make their guests feel welcome and right at home.
Taiwan is expected to build 1,000 wind turbines on the west coast and around Penghu in the next 2 decades. But the question is, are we really ready for such development? 2 years ago, National Cheng Kung University's Research Center for Energy Technology and Strategy took measurements with a flotation device that measured offshore wind energy, with results that were startling, potentially making the prospects of this renewable energy more difficult to achieve.
Following the development of onshore wind turbines, there's been new interest in offshore wind turbines. Penghu's low-carbon island project will soon extend into this vast sea, which may be used to harness electricity.
Setting the location of offshore wind turbines from Dingo Island to Huxi Mains Island will provide electricity throughout Penghu and also allow it to be sent back to Taiwan.
On land, huge fans constantly turning, converting an endless stream of wind into electricity. Penghu hopes to take its experience with onshore wind turbines and convert it to those offshore.
By 2025, we hope Penghu will install 20 offshore wind turbines that will generate 7,000 kilowatts.
Next year, we will be able to start some operations. It's estimated that Penghu can produce about 500 to 600 million watts of electricity. which is enough for its own use.
台湾海峡是发展离岸风能全球数一数二的优良风场。南台湾。
The Taiwan Strait is considered the best wind farm location, though many issues need to be addressed before carrying out the plan. However, the biggest challenge may lie in the wind farm itself.
我们过去在量测
Our measurements at sea reveal there's no way to develop offshore wind at heights of 3 to 10 meters, as we can't achieve the necessary speed.
2 years ago, in Miaoli's coastal area, National Cheng Kung University used a floating device equipped with laser technology, which measured wind speed between 50 to 200 meters above the sea surface.
50公尺的一个高度。
At 50 meters, we can see the maximum wind speed is 20 meters per second, and at the slowest, it is 1 meter per second. We can see all the changes in wind speed on this chart.
春夏天的时候
In the spring and summer, there's basically very little wind. But when the northeasterly monsoon wind blows, it is like a small to medium-sized typhoon.
National Cheng Kung University's research for the first time exposed the real situation in the Taiwan Strait, showing wind speeds over 2 or 3 hours can fall from 25 to 1 meters per second, which can be a big challenge for wind turbines.
The wind speed at one particular day could be only 4 meters per second. Then the next day, it could rise to nearly 25 or 26 meters per second, which shows a very big gap. For wind turbine operation, this can be very troublesome because you suddenly have to shut down and then you have to restart.
In addition to National Cheng Kung University, several other teams have set up offshore wind towers for wind measurement. At this stage, in addition to getting accurate data, there's also a gap in marine engineering, as the key components of this industry are difficult to overcome.
Taiwan doesn't have shipbuilding capabilities or capabilities in maritime works and no fleet. Also, our port infrastructure is just starting to be put into place.
Now, Taichung Port has a dedicated wharf just for the assembly of the wind turbines. We hope it will be completed by 2019 and will aid our scheduled deployment of offshore wind turbines.
A planning boat or lifting ship may cost $318 million. There's only a limited number of suppliers for offshore wind turbine parts, such as a power generator and blades, as building their supply chain can be difficult.
While there is huge offshore potential for wind power, there are also many challenges to developing this energy source, meaning it may not be fully realized. Taiwan may need to consider other options, as in our next installment, we'll look at hydroelectric power plants, how better harnessing this technology may prove useful in generating more renewable energy for Taiwan.
We begin the second portion of our program in the United States. To help flood victims in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tzu Chi volunteers once again held an aid distribution for victims on Tracy Avenue. As most of the residents in this area are low-income residents originally from Vietnam, this cash card from Tzu Chi was a godsend, helping to relieve their financial burden amidst difficult times.
One of the hardest hit areas in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was in the northeastern part of the city, particularly on a low-income street called Tracy Avenue. Most of the homes were completely ruined and are gutted, and all possessions are set in the front yard. Residents are waiting on dump trucks to throw away their stuff, sometimes meaningless, other times memories that can be replaced. Kat is a resident of Tracy Avenue and lives in a small home with his mother. The two were separated during the flood, and now, when he's not gutting and restoring their home, he's anxiously trying to find out what happened to her. Kat is often visited by a prominent member of the Vietnamese American community in Baton Rouge, Joseph Nguyen.
Okay, the water was above the ceiling, almost to the top of the house. We had carpet before, and the carpet has been removed.
Inside too hot and stinking. I can sleep in my house. Yeah, I sleep in the street. Yeah. Because we know nobody help me. I sleep in hungry, no clothes, everything.
At Tzu Chi's distribution at the Tambao Center, Kat was a recipient of a cash card, along with many other members of the Vietnamese community in Baton Rouge.
Today I got money, I happy. Yeah, because everybody help me. I happy. I buy clothes, shop, everything. Buy food for my mom eat. Yeah.
With the cash card, Kat can now buy some of the things he so desperately needs in order to steer his life back to normal after the upheaval caused by the flood. He can also use the money to help find his mother and buy supplies for her when they eventually reconnect. After searching various hospitals in the Baton Rouge area, Kat eventually found his mother, and the two returned to their home on Tracy Avenue.
After a recent typhoon and heavy rains in the Hualien region, a mountain tunnel leading to a populous tourist site collapsed on Saturday, October 1st. In total, 135 visitors to the Mugu Muyu Valley were trapped on the mountainside, needing rescue using narrow industrial mountain roads. Tzu Chi was there to pass out blankets, water, and bread to people as they came safely down the mountain.
After days of rain in Hualien, the Tongmun Tunnel No. 1 collapsed near the famous area attraction of the Mugu Muyu Valley, trapping 135 tourists inside.
When it first happened, we already knew that we wouldn't be able to get through. We just gathered together and had to wait for someone to come get us out.
There were a lot of foreigners here, Chinese people, Americans, and some from Hong Kong, from lots of places. I think they could use some more support when they get out.
Because the collapse closed off an important roadway, rescuers were only able to access the site using industrial roadways. Due to the narrow roads, only one jeep at a time could carry people down the mountain.
The road was dangerous, very steep and slippery with a lot of moss. It was really dangerous. A lot of paths were nearly inaccessible, requiring a lot of tough maneuvering to get through.
When Tzu Chi heard what happened, volunteers sprang into action, providing blankets, water, and bread to the people coming off of the mountain.
As night started to fall, the temperature up on the mountain is about 8 or 9 degrees lower than at the ground level, so we were worried they might be getting cold.
By the early morning of October 2nd, all of the visitors had been successfully taken down the mountain, and thankfully without serious injuries. For now, the Mugu Muyu Valley will be closed to the public until the safety of the site can be restored.
October 29th marks the Indian New Year, which is also called Deepavali. To help Indian Malaysian care recipients celebrate this upcoming festival, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia have prepared a variety of aid supplies as gifts for them, hoping to give them warmth and love.
To celebrate the Indian New Year, which is also called Deepavali, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia have prepared a variety of gifts for aid recipients.
We want to give them something that will truly fit in with their tradition. The gifts include a variety of seasoning powder that they will use for celebrating the festival.
The boss of an Indian restaurant has also decided to help his countrymen by offering them delicious meals.
I think it is great to join all of you to help the needy. Count me in. I can offer some food for them.
So you want to join together, saya pun tolong.
Tzu Chi has invited many people to do good deeds together, spreading love to the Indian Malaysians who live in poor conditions, as well as giving them warmth and love for the New Year's holiday.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore headed to some communities to canvass for donations. Along with the volunteers, some Tzu Chi entrepreneur volunteers were also invited to join. This time, these entrepreneurs didn't give commands as an employer, but were volunteers instead to encourage people to practice charity. All of them felt the joy of receiving love from others after the event.
It is the second year that Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore have headed to communities as well as public areas to canvass for donations for Tzu Chi's charity mission.
I am happy to see all of you wearing Tzu Chi uniforms.
What I can do to help is to carry out the act of giving. I hope that everyone will join to do good deeds.
Love can be spread regardless of race and religion. Though this 76-year-old woman is poor, she still puts some of her coins into the donation box.
As a Singaporean, we should help each other regardless of race. Though I have a difficult life, for example, I have to live alone and I also suffer from an illness, I think I can still donate a little money.
Tzu Chi mobilized 559 people to carry out the 8-hour donation event. Some Tzu Chi entrepreneur volunteers have also been invited to join this event. This time, they are not working as a boss, but as a volunteer to ask for donations.
We feel shocked by this experience because we usually donate the money to the needy, and we never ask for donations. Since we have received a lot of assistance from others, we should pay back to society as well.
It's easier for us to donate. However, we need to put a lot of effort into asking others to donate. We can feel other people's compassion for the needy when they donate the money.
Despite the heat, volunteers do their part canvassing for donations from the residents at the yearly donation event. They grasp every chance to encourage everyone to carry out the act of giving.
In Malaysia, a student of Cheng Yin Chinese Elementary School in Titi Seremban, Denise Chung, has received the Good Behavioral Scholarship Award from Tzu Chi for the past 4 years. She not only gets good grades, but is also helpful around the house. Let's meet this filial girl. With tan skin and a sweet smile, in the eyes of her classmates, Denise Chung isn't only a good student, but also a great role model.
She's always looking to improve her studies and is a high achiever. Her spirit is something we can learn from.
As recommended by her teacher, Denise Chung has for 4 years in a row received Tzu Chi's Scholarship in Good Behavior Award.
I'm very happy for her that she has received this award because no matter if at school or at home, her behavior is very good. She's a very eager student. You are doing well, but you must pay more attention when doing your homework.
Denise wants to be better than good. The Tzu Chi booklet has helped her to become a better granddaughter.
This booklet lets me help reduce my grandmother's burden. Every time I do a chore, I make a mark.
She is older now, so she knows right from wrong.
Receiving her scholarship, Denise Chung plans to give it all to her grandmother to relieve the family's financial burden. Post-Typhoon Maggie cleanup continues in Taiwan's southern region, especially in Kaohsiung's Liugui, where a senior's home was affected by a landslide. Massive muddy debris entered Mrs. Liu's home. Unable to clean up on her own, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help. We will leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.